Good morning, manifestors. It's Paula from the 411 on manifesting. Welcome back to my channel. How was your weekend, everybody? I hope it was good. I hope if you stayed home, you got some rest and were able to get some things accomplished. And I hope if you worked, it went by really quick. Or if you love your job, yay. I had a really good weekend. I stayed home on Saturday and just kind of caught up on some housework and some other little things. And yesterday I went out to Spirit New for a Christmas market pop-up. It was so much fun. we there's only there's like two other vendors there, so it's the three of us, and then their store. And it was just a really, really good time. One of the vendors I knew, of course, Mystic Mana was a good friend. So, we got to catch up, and then the other lady I didn't know. I'm actually going to feature this lady. Her name is Lori Lux, and she makes these amazing wax bouquets, and they're like scented wax that you can like melt in a burner to make your house smell nice, but they're bouquets of like on a, yeah, they're amazing. So I'm going to feature those in a couple days. But it was a really really good weekend. And we got to see some friends that we hadn't seen in a while. So that was always so nice, and meet some new people. So it was a lot of fun. Let's get to today's vlog. Okay, so this is the third chapter in the Roxie Nafousi book Manifest, which is align your behavior. So align your behavior. Sometimes that's a tricky one. Aligning your behavior to what you're manifesting is really essentially what it is. And you've heard that saying, fake it till you make it. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. And I kind of read this in the book and heard it somewhere else, which is fake it until you become it. So I really like and appreciate that saying, because when manifesting came around, a lot of people went, oh, all you have to do is think about it, and you just have to visualize it, and it's going to happen. And yes, that is the idea of it, but you also have to do some work. You don't just sit there, right? You don't just sit there and think about things and they happen. I mean, again, sometimes they do, but they can take a really long time, and sometimes they won't come in the way that you want. So when you're aligning your behavior around your manifestations, you're being very specific in what you want and taking steps to achieve it. So, and I've talked about this before, but if you're wanting to manifest a new job, then perhaps, and if you know where you want to work, you can drive by it, you can sit in the parking lot. If you're really brave, you can actually go in and kind of pretend to ask a question so you can get the layout of the inside of the building, just to really heighten your manifestation. So there is like a lot of different ways that you can kind of align your behavior towards your manifestations. Mel Robbins, and a lot of us know Mel Robbins, but I think in her book, when she talks about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she said she had gotten off kind of the track of exercising for like a long time for her, because she's very active, and so she wasn't active for quite a long time. So what she did is she like laid her workout clothes on the floor by her bed, and like a dead body, like top and like underwear and pants and socks and whatever, and shoes, so that when she woke up in the morning, she could see it, because that's the behavior that she used to do when she used to exercise every day. So she started off kind of doing that, and then she wasn't getting up like really early in the morning, so she started to set her alarm. And keep in mind, during this process, she still wasn't actually working out. She was just getting the steps in to align with her behavior and what she used to do when she worked out. And I just thought that was so cool, because I think that when you do align your behavior with what you want, number one, it's going to help you get really, really clear in your vision, like super clear in your vision. And number two, it's going to get you there a lot faster. You're going to see, it's going to open you up to see just a lot more things that are going on, right? So I think that's a really, really neat one. But there can be some, not so much downside, but it's kind of a weird twist on aligning your behavior, what happens with our brains. Because we've all heard of self-sabotage, and self-sabotage pretty much is when we inadvertently wreck things that are going good in our life. And man, we do it a lot. We do it a lot. I was a top notch champion self sabotager, like probably 10 years ago. I had some, had some good things happen and some opportunities happen, and I just wasn't comfortable with it because according to me, I hadn't had a lot of good things happen to me. So I was pretty in that victim mode for a long time. And my brain just, tricked me into thinking, women, I hate to single out women on this, but, and especially with relationships, women self-sabotage relationships way more than men do. So, especially when they're new and kind of in the dating stage, is that some women take, past behavior from other relationships and sort of bring it into a new one. That's a really, really common one, and it's sabotaging the relationship that technically hasn't even got off the ground yet. So, and what happens when we self-sabotage is that our brain, our brain wants to make us comfortable at all times, even if it's not good for us. So when something good happens or something different happens or we're changing our thought pattern, our brain kind of goes, hey, wait a minute, something's different here. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go back to this old way. And it's very common. And the first step to even changing that thinking is to be aware of it, because most of us are not even aware that it's going on. But our brain does not want us to be uncomfortable. So it takes us right back into that comfort stage. And sometimes that comfort stage is not good, but it's how we've been living for a very, very long time. And that really, in a nutshell, is what self-sabotage is. So it's really something to be kind of aware of when you're aligning your behavior, because it's not something that you would normally do. Getting into alignment might not be a norm for a lot of us. Like it really might not be a normal behavior. And getting into alignment can look many, many ways. It can be just changing your routine at home. If you're wanting to start a new business, what would you do to align yourself to become a person that, is in a successful business? You would start by getting up earlier every morning. You would maybe be making lists of things that you want to do throughout the day. You would write down any contacts that you want to do, any meetings that you want to set up, any research that you want to do. So that is like putting your behavior into alignment for what your manifestation is. And I think that is super, super important. And honestly, it can start so small. Like with Mel Robbins, they're just laying her clothes out in the morning. And honestly, she did that for a week before she even got up and exercised, because you have to train your brain over and over again. Like you have to do that. It took years to get it to the way it is before you started manifesting, right? And before maybe some of you were in victim mode. I know I sure was. So it takes years for you to get that way. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And it's quite a really, really cool progression of kind of things to watch. So I really, really like that. So there is a little cool exercise. I have a hard time like talking about this because I kind of wrote it down a few times last night and I'm like, oh man, I'm just not saying it right. So just bear with me. But so what you can excuse me, what you can do is, if you have a manifestation of yourself something you wanted to do, whether it was starting your own business, whether you're on a health journey, whether you're on a romantic journey, picture yourself in 5 years from your manifestation. How are you acting in 5 years? Like, how are you acting? And by acting, I mean, what kind of people do you hang around with? How do you spend your free time? What activities do you do that you're in this manifestation? And then on the other side of it, I'd like you to write down everything that you're doing now at the beginning of your manifestation. So you're gonna write, maybe we should have, see, that's what I mean. I have a hard time talking about this. It's like scrambled in my brain. Like I know what I want to say, but I'm not saying it right. Because this is my third try. And I was just like, you know what, screw it. I hope you guys just know what I mean. But anyway, what will happen is let's try this the other way. So you're manifesting something. Write down the behaviors that you have right now geared around that manifestation. Then visualize yourself 5 years from the manifestation and write down all the things that you would be doing 5 years from now and really see the comparison between the two. So I did that last night. The big one for me is that I was not going to be living where I was living. So I have this visualization of myself in a different home than I'm in now, which I don't want to say which sucks because I love my home, but hey, it is what it is. It's my manifestation and visualization. So I really have to go with it. But I'm in a different space and I have this office and I have this view of something I'm looking at and I don't even know where it is. So it's really, really wild. So I really invite you to try this because you would be really surprised what comes up when you do your 5-year visualization. And I apologize. I had such a hard time trying to explain this. Sometimes that's just the way it is, but hopefully you guys understand that. If you have any questions, let me know. But it's really, really interesting to just to see where your alignment is and what your patterns and what your process is and just your behaviors are going to be going forward with that. So I just really liked it. It was wild when I finished it. So anyway, okay, I'm going to stop rambling now. Have an amazing, amazing Monday, everybody. Thank you for watching. And this was chapter 3, Align Your Behavior, in the book Manifest by Roxie Nafousi. I will link it in the comments. I suggest you get it. It's really good. It's really, really good. And in that book too, she has workbook spaces. So there is like stuff for you to write down when you're going through the book. Or if you have, I bought it on Audible too, because I listen to it when I'm driving. But yeah, it's a really, really good book. It's really helped me a lot. So that is the vlog for today, everybody. Do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It helps bring me more content every single Monday. If nobody tells you this week, I love you. Have an amazing day. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.